I saw in the comments, oh, Dad, you've got to do something about Julian Assange. You have to stop this. What the fuck am I going to do? I can't even get Labor elected in South Australia. You know? But I will just say this. Yes, there's a video coming out on Friendly Geordies, and it is going to be extremely whiny, which is exactly what you want. And let's all acknowledge it. Yes, condolences to the man. But we're on Jordan Shanks, so we're going to be sitting there doing what we do best here, which is making some kind of vague point that relays it back into you. That's something that you could do instead of going, oh, fuck, can't believe empires exist. What the hell? Which, let's be honest, even if you acknowledge that, that's better than most people. Now, this is what I want you to focus on today. What Julian Assange did is monumental. And apart from all of the injustice that is set to that decision in life, you can't not say that the guy didn't know that what he was doing had high risks of ending up like that. In fact, he's kind of lucky that it didn't end up worse. Don't you reckon if you set up WikiLeaks, how pissed off would the American government be at you? If you want a test case example of that, I guess look at what happened to Assange. All right. Having said all of that yes, it's extremely unfair, that yes, he knew what was coming, the reason that he did it is because that is a man who is thinking about not just legacy, he's going further, institution. He's putting his ego, his idea of how he's going to mold the world into something bigger than himself. Now that is where you get fulfillment. That is sort of the meaning of Dune as well, one of the many. It's a very profound book, much more profound than WikiLeaks, because I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen in the future. We are going to be ruled by a half-worm, half-man god for 3,000 years. That's just my hunch. All right? WikiLeaks can prove all the facts that it likes. It's not going to take that out of my head. That's my decision to believe in that, okay? That's my God. But one of the big things that he's talking about in Dune, obviously, is that the God Emperor is, and sorry to make a spoiler out of this, and also just know that I have just watched a bunch of nerds talking about this because I do not have the time to read 5 epic books. I didn't even have the time to read one. I did when I was 12. And I wish that I read the rest, but then I just went on to the next one and went, what do you mean he's blind but he can't see? This is getting a bit weird. But one of the big things that he's talking about is that, yes, I know that everybody in the universe is going to hate me. Nonetheless, I'm going to be forcing everyone into a stagnation for 3,000 years so that when I die, the universe will expand. Yeah? He's doing something for a greater good. This is the problem with all of the cocksuckers in the corporate world, I think, honestly. I really do. First off, they are trained to think in little intervals of what am I going to do in the next quarter. That is a bad way to think. Obviously, it's a much more productive way to think than most people who think, what do I want for lunch? But people like Julian Assange are obviously thinking, all right, we're not even thinking about exposing the next yada yada. They're thinking about creating something that is lasting, that will exceed their death, and that once that genie's bottle is open, it's going to be there forever. It's sort of the same as what Howard did to Australia in terms of the big culture war that he had, because he really understood that's where the culture war is. What he was doing was he was getting rid of a lot of the funding in things that had a traditionally population look on things. I've got a video coming out about this, but it was a classic thing. Anyone that dared go against his vision of giving corporations whatever the fuck they wanted, he defund them. What has happened as a result of that is the people that become the opposition to the Liberals now just sit there being like, it's racist, sexism. These used to be serious people that used to sit there and come up with really intensive reports about why this government policy isn't working the way it is. And now those same people are sitting around bitching on Twitter that, racism, right? Which makes everybody else hate them. It's a genius maneuver. But that was him destroying institutions. And the thing that happens with an institution, right? This is what I'm starting to realize. I'm not looking at the next election. I'm not looking at the election after that. Before, I used to think about the next election. That was what was propelling me for the last 6 years. But then somebody explained to me, you're not looking for elections. Do you think these major parties look at elections? No. They look at election cycles. But there's other people that think out there and think, okay, how do we build up institutions so that these ideologies get preserved and we start attracting people into them that start pushing that cause? That's how I see Friendly Geordies now. It's about creating an institution that will exceed all of our deaths, that you are giving a media voice to the working population of this country that does not exist in the media landscape, completely devoid. All of it just oligarch parrots, every last one of them, parrots of the oligarchy. We're putting out a voice that says, this is in your interest, that is in theirs, this is in yours. That's what we're doing with that. This is the same thing that Julian Assange has done with WikiLeaks. Well, may they arrest and punish Julian Assange. And I'm sure that he knows this he must know this. He's infinitely smarter than any of us. He must know that WikiLeaks, or some form of it, once that has been brought into the world, that idea, that will be replicated by other smart people. And it will become harder and harder and harder to police, unless obviously you destroy the entire internet, which they very well could be doing if you watch Friendly Geordies. But the thing is, what he's attempting to do there is create something that exceeds himself, that is bigger than him, that is bigger than all of us. That is a way to stay sane in life. Because can you imagine you in that situation? I try and imagine myself in Julian Assange's situation, the level of stress that guy has to deal with. And yeah, he kind of looks a bit dottery and wizardy, but I would imagine that I would be much more insane than that man, given the situation. I think we all would. It's just that that guy obviously believes in a cause. That's what's keeping him to the level that he is, where he's still articulate enough to argue his point. And also, at the same time, manage lickies, lick a tongue. That's what he's doing. And obviously that's moved on to someone else. But he was doing it for a long time. That lives on further than him. That is something that you are going to practice every time something pisses you off in life. You are going to remember this mantra, and I want you to write it down. I've discussed it before, but we're going to do it again. Will this matter in 10 years' time? If you can think in that method for the rest of your life, will this matter in 10 years' time? We're talking about things that are slights to you. We're talking about things that if you did that now, it's going to have an impact on you 10 years from now. I swear to God, that is the only reason that I'm in the position that I am now. And obviously, I didn't have the role models really there except for books. If I had other people just to base it off and they were kind of slapping it out of me going, psh, 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 I'd be doing a lot better now than I was. But in lieu of that, you have to become your own parent. You really have to start thinking in life in terms of, is this moving towards building some form of institution that is going to surpass me? You're looking for that. You are looking for something that is going to build that institution. Institutions last even when the institution declines. Their impact is permanent. That's what happened with WikiLeaks. And I thank him for it. And hopefully me talking about Dune, as usual, will be far later in the algorithm than need be, but still maybe get some more views. Anyway, the point is, if you like that, you're going to have to sign up to Jordan Shanks. If you sign up to Jordan Shanks, you'll be getting reminders like that. That is a huge, epic reminder to have implanted in your head that you're not going to get from going down to BWS and talking to Mick. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but pretty much all he's going to say is, man, there used to be this guy that came in, painted himself in acrylic paint, his footy colours, right? Hasn't come in for a while. I think the paint might have poisoned him, eh? Do you have his number? Yeah. Have you called it? No, I'm bothered. You're not going to get that on Jordan Shanks. What you're going to get at BWS is something overpriced that is going to make you fucked up, and then it's going to make you really unproductive for the next 3 days. Jordan Shanks will not. That membership is going to make you... Look, you drink, and then you watch the couple of videos there, it's going to even you out. It's at least going to put you a baseline. It's pretty much the same as drinking one of those shines that you get at the service station. And that is $7. Go on, do yourself a favor. Sign up, Jordan Shanks, links below. Thanks for watching.